Welcome. We are PRISM, and we're happy to answer a question from one of our viewers tonight. The question pertains to our earlier message about rising above the battlefield. And the question is this, and it's a good practical question. Understanding the concept of rising above the battlefield, conceptually, how does one do it? How do you rise above when you have a friend or family member who's engaged deeply in battling for some cause or other that they firmly believe in? How do you interact with that person? What should be your contribution to them? And so forth. And we'll give you a quick answer on that because it's very important in this day and age. So everyone who's engaged in a battle quite typically feels that they're on the right side, right? That's the funny thing about battles. There are occasions when people don't feel that way, of course, but very often everyone who's fighting thinks they have the right point of view. They have the right understanding of reality, which means people become very passionate about it. And it also means that in a way this viewpoint is very much a part of their fabric. We're not saying it's authentic, by the way. It could be extremely inauthentic viewpoint, but it's something that they have convinced themselves is really fundamental to their reality. So let's say you have a friend who is very much into a particular group, and this group is sending out all sorts of messages and all sorts of declarations, claiming things about what's happening in the world, saying that this is truth, this is falsehood, these people are right, these are wrong. Very, perhaps to your point of view, angry messages. And actually, let's call them angry messages, because we can all identify anger. That's not really a point of view. They may feel righteous in their anger, but it's still anger, and it's still a piercing, aggressive energy. So if your friend has this energy, and the anger bothers you, and you feel that the messages are not coming from the highest source of love, the highest part of themselves, well, what do? Do you cut them off? Well, you could say, I've had enough of it, I can't handle your energy. It's a perfectly valid response, and perhaps you may have to do that if this kind of relationship really is infringing on your ability to maintain your own energy. Sometimes even in psychic infringement, even when we're not talking to a person, if we're linked with them deeply enough, their psychic energy can undermine us, just creep into our field and wreak havoc. So you may have to cut the cord and you may have to put separation in. But there may be opportunities as well. And the general response, whether it's a friend or family member or someone in the media, someone in the news, a public figure even, you can do this with anyone. Your general response should be one of compassion. Again, you want to detach from the energy of the battle. That's not what you want to get involved in. You're not here to pick a side, even though you're bothered very much by the side that your friend is on. What you should do is send them love and energy, and to feel compassion. Send that wave of compassion to them. You don't need to send specifically to what they believe in. You don't need to say, I'm sending to that group that you're interested in because they're terrible, so I want to counteract it with white light. No, that's the wrong way to do it, because what are you doing? You're back in the battle, aren't you? Now you've convinced yourself, because I'm coming from my higher self with my higher energy, I'm above the battle. But now I'm going to use that higher self and higher energy to counteract you and all what you're saying. Don't you see? It's still just another battle, but at a different angle. So instead, you send compassion to that person. You send love to them. You talk to their higher self and you say, I love you. We connect in so many ways. You are such a great friend. You have such great light inside of you. I see it. And I want to support that because I know you've got a great path ahead of you. And right now you're struggling with battlefield energy. I want you to know I feel compassion. I see who you are deep in your multidimensional self. I honor and love you. And I hope this energy will help you get through the turbulence you're in right now and get out of the battlefield energy so you can get back onto a path that brings you to your highest expression of multidimensional selfhood. You see? And it could be verbatim. It could be some other kind of prayer or meditation or discourse with their higher self. But that should be your reaction, your instinctual reaction. That way you're not engaged with the topic or the players involved in the battle, because that's not your role, is it? And you don't want to get sucked in accidentally into the battle, even though you think you're rising above it. So forget what they are saying or doing in terms of counteracting it. That's not your role. You don't have to stop them. Even if you think that it's bad information or a bad point of view, you're not trying to stop it. You're trying to rise above it. You're trying to keep your energy up. And if it's a person dear to you, or even if it's not, it's a great exercise to send them compassion and say, I want to be part of the light. I am aligning myself with the beings in the higher consciousness that act as a beacon for anyone who wants to leave the battlefield to follow, like a distant lighthouse through the fog, in the mist, far on the edge of the battlefield. See that light, you're saying to everyone around you. Put down your sword, put down your gun, come towards me and realize that these fights aren't as important as you think. It's not going to make or break your reality if a certain person is elected or not elected, if a certain group has more or less control, or if a certain ideology gets more or less traction. These things don't matter as much as everyone on Earth raising their frequency and vibration. That's the only thing that will save your planet. No ideology, no point of view, no particular group winning over the other. When we say everyone must raise their energy, well, that's not a victory in the sense of a battle. That's an evolutionary step in which you move away from the old dichotomies and conflicts into a whole new way of interacting with reality. One of compassion, one of seeing everyone with full integrity, with full love, with full honor. We hope that helps you in practical terms as you try to step out of the battles. It may feel like trying at first, but the more you stick with this, soon you'll realize it's not about trying, it's just about changing and doing it. And then you can step back and look around at who's around you and interact with them from a different level to the benefit, hopefully, of both of you. Till next time, we love you.